Hi Wayne, hi Ruth, hi everyone gathered at Australian Apostolic Church National Conference. We're here in the United Kingdom where we're in the midst of the grip of cold weather coming in from Siberia, snowing outside but beautifully warm in here. And I'm here with Scott Wellard, who many of you know. You met him last year at conference. Scott moved here from Melbourne to Liverpool in the United Kingdom in June of 2017. And Scott with Rachel and Elijah have been preparing the soil for the planting of a church. So Scott, you came 8 months ago. Tell us a little bit about the entry into the UK and the beginnings of your journey.
Well, I think looking at it, it's kind of been two different seasons for us in the last 8 months. The first season was really a season of settling in. Not only were we in a new country, but we're moving from suburban Australia to apartment urban living in Liverpool. And so a lot of it was settling in and figuring out how a different part of the world lives. It's very different in an urban world, especially with a toddler. We saw the first season as an investigation season. We tried to understand the neighborhood we were reaching. I had a coffee with every stakeholder I could get to meet with me. So I sat with MPs, I sat with councillors, I had lunch with the police superintendent, I sat with business owners. I also was willing to have a coffee with anyone that was recommended to me by anyone who would have a coffee with me, even if it seemed like the most random connection. So a lot of the first season was just trying to understand the neighborhood God had placed us in before we tried to decide what we were going to do and settle in as a family.
And how have you settled in, Scott? It's a great city, Liverpool. It's got a great history, and you've put your roots down in a very, very interesting part of that city. And I think you've connected with well over 200 people already in a very significant way.
Yeah, the dark days of January when you're feeling negative and you want to be positive, you start trying to look at a scorecard of where you're at. And we for fun, we decided to write down everyone we've got to know or we've met or we've had conversations with. And it was well over 200, and we're feeling a bit better about how we've been going. But no, look, we've been very fortunate. I think it's because we're a young family and there's other young families around that we've made what we would consider friends already in 8 months. So we've got friends in our life that helps make Liverpool feel like home now. So that's been really helpful. And I think, having a young family has been a key to that. That just makes things quicker.
And Rachel has been very, very active in reaching other young mums. She's been a powerful influence in the preparatory stage of the church plant.
Yeah, well, one of the things we identified in that investigation season was we live in a neighborhood of about 11,000 people. It's all apartment living, and there's other families just like us living in apartments. But you wouldn't believe this being in Australia, where there's a playground and a park on every corner. But in the city centre of Liverpool, there's no playgrounds and there's no parks. So in Australia, where we would meet other mums and families at parks, you can't do that in our neighbourhood. So we were meeting more and more families that just haven't met other families. So my wife turns our apartment into a playground every Friday afternoon with crash mats and slides and seesaws and trampolines, and mums come over and they have cake and they celebrate another week of surviving as mums, and the kids run amok. But what's cool is families in the neighbourhood are meeting each other because we've become that connection. We've become this playground, this park that enables families to meet, which has been really exciting.
And Scott, you've got a background in training, ministry preparation, leadership training, and that's carried on here in a significant way, probably a way that neither of us would have anticipated 12 months ago. So tell us a little bit about the training you're doing with the apostolic leaders or emerging apostolic church leaders.
Well, that's been really exciting. We talked about it way back in October 2016. You mentioned your heart was training young pastors, and you sort of made an offhanded sort of comment that we could use a guy with your experience in that field, and I held that to heart. And Rachel and I sort of prayed about that, but we didn't expect it to end up like this. But we've been involved with a pilot program of training 6 young pastors, apostolic pastors, or free couples across the country. Rachel's been involved as well, and it went so well. I think this year we're training 36 pastors across the country, which is really exciting. But it's just been great coming alongside the young pastors. We've brought all of them up to Liverpool for a weekend at different times, just so they can experience our world and what it's like to plant a church and maybe catch a little something of that. But it's been really exciting just seeing these these guys from the beginning of the year last year to where they're at now at conference, standing, feeling confident because of the foundation of training there that's keeping them up. So, yeah.
Great. So Scott, was there anything else you just want to share with us?
Yeah, look, one of the exciting things I wanted to share was that we took 5 students through an alpha course, and that resulted in free recommitments, which I think realistically, now that they're experiencing adulthood away from family, is actually free, real adult commitments. And one new person was led to the Lord. So we're starting a Sunday gathering with those 4 and my wife and I think that's the beginning of something special. So yeah, we're excited about that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so wonderful.
I think so.
So Scott and Rachel are doing an amazing job, and we just commend them to you and ask you to keep them in your prayers. Just uphold them and believe that God is going to use them in an amazing way, even as he has in these 8 months that have gone. Well, thank you again. Have a wonderful conference. God bless you, and we look forward to seeing you soon.